Hi, this is Terry. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is about how I sonder. What the hell is Saunder? Well, there's a company called Silk Sonder, which I've mentioned before. If you are new to the channel, full disclosure, I'm an investor in this company, but I've also been a consumer of this product for I think about 15 months now. I have several planning solutions, but this is one that's really about mindfulness and really kind of health and wellness and being very intentional about how I live my life. And so I wanted to walk through how I sonder. I guess the founder, Miha, sent me a note and said, hey, would you mind putting together some sort of a video that we can put out about how you sonder? And I decided to take advantage of the fact that it's the beginning of December. Happy December. And
Sonder?
December?
Get it?
Yeah.
It's a play on the name.
Yeah, and décembre,
Yeah.
French. Anyway, I thought it'd be a good time. This is a great gift to give to other people or to have somebody give to you. They're 3-month, 6-month, 12-month subscribs.
And they're really cute too. If you want to look at the covers, they're like all floral and shit.
Yeah. So if I can just grab a few more of them. So yeah, they are all different florals, and you can see that they have different kind of messages. So August was affection, June was choice, October was tranquility or tranquillité, September was observation. So they all have themes. November was happiness, and December is generosity. And one of the things that I have developed since I've given a couple of gifts away, I've created my own private Saunder circle. And we get together twice a month on a Sunday morning in order to plan out the month. And I'm going to walk you through how I plan out my month. And then at the same time, in the middle of the month, we get together and we do kind of a mid-month reflection and touch base. It also is a great way for me to stay connected with some of my girlfriends, and we continue to expand this circle. We're doing it virtually, so my friend Candace in Portland, my friend Bonnie who's up in the Sacramento area, my friend Laura who's in DC, and then my friend Amy, aka Farmer Amy, is just up the street in San Carlos, and then my friend Jacqueline is here in Redwood City. And we get together over Zoom and we just work on it. And when we get stuck on something, like one of the pages in this month is on affirmations. And so it's a cute little ornament thing with affirmations. And I was like, I wrote a bunch of them down and then I kind of got stuck. And so I got some ideas from the other gals on what to do. So the first thing that I do is I fill out the very back page. So there are a couple pages that are just for notes, like this. And what I do is, since I try to be diligent about sending out birthday cards or gifts to people in my life, I make a list of all of the birthdays so that I can keep track of what it is that, whether I'm going to do a text or a card or a gift or just a Facebook message, and what their birthday is. I also make a list of all the people that I exchange snail mail with, and I keep track of when I last sent them a note, and then for the month I will keep track of when I send them notes. Some people I just send monthly, other people I send cards to on a weekly basis. Another thing that I do is the habit tracker. This is my favorite thing. So the first couple of months that I used this, I only used the habit tracker, and it was worth it. And then I started adding on more and more things. And so these are my habits, and I'm super proud of myself for the month of November. Let me see if I can find it. I like having it almost completely full.
That's satisfying.
It's very satisfying. I make sure to put into my habits things that I know I'm going to be able to accomplish so that I can mark them off. Like the first thing, I'm going to do a day in my life, and I'll be talking about some of the things I do every day, and they are on here, like doing my French on Duolingo, or my 5 minutes of meditation on simple habit, writing down my 3 gratitudes in my Priori. This is my other planner, my Priori planner.
Speaking of which, what's your brave thing today?
I was challenged on something and I bravely did not respond the way that I was going to. I simply said thank you and did not give a lot of a response. So that was it. So that's one of the things that's on here is hashtag one brave thing every single day. So some of these, another one is doing my morning pages. So right off the bat, I'm able to check those off. And so I feel like in this time when everything's so crazy and every day is so different, I can have some anchors that make me feel good. The next thing that I do is fill out the first week. And this is what the week looks like. Now, on Facebook, there's a Facebook group for Silk and Sonder that you can belong to if you have a subscription. It's a private group. Some people are super crazy about what they do with pens and washi tape and, all sorts of stuff. And frankly, I just don't have time for that. So mine's pretty basic. So my weekly activities, these tend to be the same. But the whole point of having these weekly activities is that are different from like the habit tracker is if you want the same habit throughout the month, you put it on the habit tracker. If there's something you just want to focus on that week, then you go ahead and put it here. And it is very satisfying. Well, that was a bad week. I'm looking for one where I had a good week where, no, November was kind of a rough month, it looks like, for those weekly habits. But the good news is that the next week I get to set it up and I get to start over without having it, the missing things staring out at me every single day. And what I do is I use these little tabs in order to mark the pages to make it easier. The other thing that we do on that first Sunday is there's a reflection. So this was my November reflection and then December intentions. This was something that I was reluctant to do because I don't like to do this kind of thing. And now that I'm doing it on a monthly basis with my friends, it's making it a lot easier to do. So I just write, there's a section like November wins and November hiccups. I actually cross out the hiccups because there's another section for November hard moments. And I think that's enough there's enough room for like what went wrong to put into the bad hard moments. And I like to have this whole section be the wins for the month. So on a weekly basis, I actually do in my priority planner on weekly, I do recap all the wins. So it makes it easier for me to go in and update those at the end of the month and be able to reflect. I go through my calendar. I go through our Clubhouse spreadsheet for the co-working room to see kind of what I did because you keep track of it on a Google sheet. And it's a nice thing to go and reflect on. Favorite moments, sometimes these are kind of hard. This month we kind of shared some ideas and like Biden and Harris winning was like a big win this month.
That was this month.
That was in November, I know.
That's
and then
weird.
The bottom one is, and here's the thing. When I don't like something, I just line it out. So it's, what do I want to start and continue rather than it's like, what do I want to start, stop, and continue? I'm like, I don't want to, I don't care about stopping anything. I just want to start and continue and have it be like a positive momentum type thing. So that's the thing that's really great about this is that we basically modify it to meet our needs. There's an act of kindness bingo. I think last one there might have been another bingo. No, it was a happiness jar and a playlist. Like last month there's like write the titles and artists of the songs that always manage to fill you with joy. That was kind of a fun thing. And then a happiness jar, which I didn't fill, but I suck at this kind of stuff. I'm getting better. But the bingo, none of us really liked some of them, so we just lined them out and I put in other things that I actually liked that were acts of kindness for others and also acts of kindness for me. And so it's made it easier to fill out some of these things when I do this with others rather than by myself. I even completed some of the journaling prompts, which I never do.
You never do that.
No, I mean, I do my morning pages, but that's different from having prompts. But I didn't like them, so I just crossed out and I journaled on what I want. The other thing that I do is some of the other pages where we have notes, and I'm trying to find it, is you know, this is not pretty by any stretch of the imagination, but I want to remember what's important in my life. And so I created this whole flower type thing, you know, with me in the middle, to remember that whenever I'm making any decisions or anything else, that these are the things that I need to make sure I'm making the decisions based on, or I'm consciously choosing not to. I also have my 3 core values, which are freedom, self-respect, and belonging, which I think I've talked about before. And so I write those down so that I can remember when I'm making decisions on how I want to operate in the world, that I'm always reflecting on those. And then, of course, the 3 North Star goals, I think I've also talked about those: to not raise asshole kids, to move the needle in leveling the playing field, and then somehow using data and technology to flip healthcare on its head. I've also talked that one I need to replace. So I think in terms of my planning for 2021, which I will be doing sometime in the next 2 weeks, and I'll go ahead and do an episode on goal planning. It's because I did some goals, and I've talked before about how every week I go through and do a 2020 goal assessment on them, and I want to do the same thing for 2021. So I'll talk about that in another video. Before I forget, if there's anything in here that you really like, can you make sure to like this video? And if you have any questions on how to become part of my Silk and Sonder circle, or get your own Silk and Sonder subscription, just drop a note in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to answer. I answer all the comments, unless they're from randos, and then I delete those. So from bots, yeah, I delete them if they're from bots, and then I block the bots.
Fun.
Yeah, you didn't know I was getting those, did you?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
No. So, and then I just have some, just some other random notes that I carry over from one month to the next. In the weeklies, the other thing that I do is I've repurposed the weeklies. I do my One Brave thing up in the top, and then I use it for social media to keep track of when I put the YouTube video out, and then also with my newsletter to make sure that I've checked all the boxes. And that has been helpful. And the thing is that you can pretty much use this however you want, repurpose the boxes. There's a box for the shopping list. I cross that out, and I basically write down the people that I want to connect with that week. Sometimes I don't, and then I have to carry it over to the next. The meal plan, I don't use that. So I make note of the exercise that I'm going to get, and then anybody from a social, to make sure that I have some sort of a social connection. Right now with COVID, it's very easy for me to stay cocooned and not socialize with other people, stay in the same clothes for 3 to 4 days in a row, and only get presentable when I'm doing the YouTube videos. And that's really not healthy for the extrovert in me. And physically, I need to make sure that I get more exercise. So besides, in November, I did a Planksgiving challenge. And so every day I did somewhere between a 2 minute and 2 minute and 45 second plank. And today I finished that up. We're recording it on Monday the 30th. And starting December 1st, I'm going to go back to doing 10 to 15 minutes of yoga on the mat every single day. And it's going to be my own December yoga challenge. So that's pretty much how I Sonder. That's what I do to set it up. It's about 2 hours at the beginning of the month, or the end of the previous month. And then
how much of that is actually setting up stuff, and how much of that is just chatting with your gal pals?
There's a little bit. Let's just say I'm including in the 2 hours the setup that I do before I get on with them. Like the end of the month, all the birthdays and stuff, I do that before I get on with them. And you'll see here, I just put the dates that I send notes to people. And some people come on the list, and some people drop off the list. So we met for an hour and a half, probably got 45 minutes done. So maybe it's just an hour and a half. And then mid-month, we'll do the currently. So back in November, it was currently. I'm loving, feeling, enjoying, anticipating, wishing, reading, watching, planning. The watching, you'll appreciate this. Whatever Ray wants to watch with us. So if Ray is willing to hang out, I'm willing to be out there and watch. You didn't know you had that kind of power over me, did you?
I had the understanding that you generally join for part of a movie, and then you just
I want to go read a book and I go to bed.
Off.
And then I drop off. I try. I really try. So anyway, any other questions on how I Sonder with Silk Sonder?
Not really.
So anyway,
I've heard you talking about Silk Sonder a lot. So
absolutely. So I would love to hear about what your experience is. If you are have a subscription and you use it, I'd love to hear about it. So drop that in the comments. If you are thinking about it and have questions about it, once again, drop that in the comments. By the way, the comments, the liking of the video is really going to help with the YouTube SEO, which I'm kind of playing with right now. So I'd really appreciate that.
SEO is search engine optimization.
Yeah, basically to get more eyeballs on this and have YouTube eventually recommend the videos. As you are thinking about what you're doing and planning for 2021, and I think that now is a great time if you haven't already done it, look for another video coming up in the next week or so on that. If you want to do a vision board, I'll go ahead and put a link up there or up there. I can't remember which.
Just say up there and point above your
Up
head.
there someplace. I'll put a link into the video that I did on how I vision board. And I think that's a great creative exercise that you can do with some people who are safely in your bubble, or you can do it virtually, or you can do it by yourself. It's up to you.
Or you could do it like a pet succulent.
What does that even mean?
You know, you have your succulent on the desk with you. That's your company.
Oh, okay. So your pet succulent keeps you company.
Yeah.
For those people who do not want to be around other people.
Yeah.
Like you.
Mine is called Desi.
Desi. Fabulous. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I would love to see a couple more. We hit our number, so now it's just gravy or the cherry on top, but we really are trying to grow this, so thank you much.
Preferably not gravy and a cherry.
Yeah, that'd be kind of gross. But more power to you.
No, gravy and cranberry sauce. There you go.
Thank you. Man, you were just so helpful today. Thank you.
I know.
Also,
I have class to get to, so wrap this
I know.
up.
So also, if you know of somebody who might be interested, please share it with them, and I'm happy to answer any questions they have too. And as always, let go of perfection, take some risks, and above all else, have some fun.